got this goal, I tell you I'm on the road. We bout to get all this dough, we ain't no fuck niggas, no. I swear to God we the ghosts, this ain't the story they told. Man, if you know, then you know. I never had to tell my dogs that we on route for greatness.
Welcome to The Real Oshow. I'm Zachary.
And I'm Joshua, and we're brothers chasing the curiosities of our life.
And on the show today, we have Rob Jua, a creative music executive, motivational speaker, and author. Welcome to the show, Rob.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Of course, man.
Thank you.
It's going to be a good show. This is, and I want to say, since we've redone our show, you are the first guest.
You are the first guest.
First guest.
Look, God made me to be number one.
Hey.
And I'm just happy to be number one with all my people I love, so thank you.
To dive right into it.
Yeah.
How will blockchain and Web3 affect the music industry?
Wow, I think it's going to create a lot of transparency and accountability. A lot of things artists don't know, like what's going on, how to find this, how to get into these portals to figure out how much money you owed, what you do, what is like. I think I'm no expert, by the way, but just from the things I've been reading on, I just think it just helps people with just kind of seeing what's going on. And I think there's one side of it that says, there's going to be maybe too much transparency, right? Because creatives sometimes see too much and they like get discouraged, or they be like, hey, I want more because you owe me more when no one really knows.
I was about to just say that.
Yeah.
I know on my end, it's like if I know everything that's going on behind the scenes, I'm like, I need a bigger piece of the pie.
Right.
So it's
you
interesting.
may see another part of what's going on behind the scenes is, all right, cool, you may see what we made, but you need to come also see what we spent.
Right.
So
exactly.
then I think it's just going to like create transparency. Some people,
Are you looking forward to that?
I have no choice. Like what I'm going to do?
That's true.
None of us have a choice about what's coming with AI and blockchain and stuff. It's coming, it's there. Like, I have no choice. For me, it's like, well, how do you embrace it and become empowered by it versus trying to fight it? We can't fight the growth of technology. Like, technology is going to keep, the advancements are going to keep happening. It needs to kind of happen in this space anyway. I think there's a lot of lazy people in music. I think there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, and I think it's going to help with transparency, and it's going to help both sides, right? You got an artist complaining about they want more, they want this, I deserve this, and then you show them, hey, man, your music didn't make shit, bro. You still owe us. Or you may have an artist saying, I want this and I want that, and damn, they made an extra $1 million. Okay, they deserve that. So I think it'll help.
What are you doing to lean? I'm sorry to cut you off.
No,
What are you doing to lean into like the new technology, this Web3 blockchain? Like, what are you doing to kind of prepare?
Me personally, just learning how to use AI more and doing a lot of watching a lot of YouTube videos. Like, I'm not a super pro about it. I know it's coming. I don't know what angle it's coming from or what's about to happen. I'm trying to learn more about it and learn who to go, where to get the best piece of advice and direction for this, because I know that it's happening. So besides a bunch of YouTube videos, a book here and there, and speaking to more people that I know really into that space, right? Because I'm not the guy trying to be the master of everything. I'm already like a creative executive. I already got so much shit going on that I'm like, man, who's really good at this, that does this all the time, that I could lean and ask some questions. So,
in your opinion, do you think that it's going to help artists be more pro-label with the blockchain, or do you think it's going to go, because like right now, I think it's, as an artist, there's been no time where you didn't need a record label like you need now.
Right.
So do you think the blockchain will actually help, because it's more transparency? And I think right now, artists can go on and they have all the access at their fingertips, where maybe 20 years ago you didn't have that. Do you think the blockchain is going to help the labels more, or do you think it's going to be more pro-artist? Because I feel like, again, like you were saying, you want the more transparency. I think the reason why some artists aren't signed is because they're like, well, I'm pro-me. So do you think there's going to be more, because of the transparency, do you think it's going to be more pro-label or more pro-artist?
A label is always going to be pro-label, and an artist is going to be always pro-artist. There's always going to be that tug of war. So it's really going to be about who gets the most educated or who hires the most educated.
Right.
To be honest, I don't think it's going to
answer.
benefit this guy or that guy, right? There's all these trillions of dollars in the world, right? And there's billions of people, but like a smaller group gets it because they figured some shit out, and the little group didn't want to figure it out, so they don't get it. But what if they figure out, you know what I mean?
Right. No.
Whoever invests in either trying to figure it out or whoever invests in the people who figured it out, they're going to win. I think it's going to be a tug of war, because you have the independent artists who's smarter now. You have the artists on the label who's smarter now that's going to look into that a little deeper. And then you have the labels like, yeah, I got this money and I can get the best guys. So I just think, again, it's going to continue. It's going to be a new tug of war, but it's just with a different level of transparency. And it's not gonna hurt the business at the end of the day.
Right, I agree.
It's not.
Yeah, I have two things to add to this because I want to ask like your personal opinion with the artists that you kind of interact with, but to add to the AI argument, I don't know how much you're on like TikTok and how much you consume of it. Obviously, like SZA is like massive. SZA, sorry. SZA, sorry. I always say her name.
Like,
I don't know how to fucking say it.
That's a haircut in Brooklyn. Like Caesar. Yeah.
That's funny. But so they AI'd NBA YoungBoy singing her song Snooze. Like the same lyrics, just NBA YoungBoy's voice. And if NBA YoungBoy made that song, it would win a Grammy. So it's something like that. You're saying that if an artist hears a banger of a song, they'll just remake the song, buy the masters, and then put it out.
I'm doing it over. What are we talking about? So someone created it.
Yes.
The people love it.
Yes.
You're already showing me proof of concept because the people love it. Now with me doing it, it's going to be more authentic. It's going to have soul to it because AI doesn't have soul.
Right.
This shit is out of here.
So you're
Even
saying
if
it's
we
almost like a free at bat.
Bro, it's an alley-oop, no look. Like if you look at it like that, I would tell my artists, go, use it.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, fuck it. Let the AI keep the AI voice on there, and I'm gonna feature with the AI. It's gonna be a me and me collab. Hold on, music business. Don't try to steal that. I need $20 billion for that idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, embrace it.
I saw an artist. I don't want to mess up the name, but I saw an artist maybe like 6 months ago. They dropped a whole project, and they literally were like, "Hey, use AI, make a new song, make a new verse.
Right.
The one that I like the most, I'm gonna pay you for that."
Yeah.
And so now thousands of people are just trying to make her song better because she was just like, "Yeah, try it." And whether something came from that or not came from it, it's like you're experimenting, you're trying.
Yeah.
Someone might have a completely different sound for what you thought of what you have to make for art. It's just, I think it makes it more, like you said, it's more transparent, it's more collaborative.
And look, to add to what you said, imagine a world where, and this is going to happen, it's bound to happen, where your fans who love you can collaborate with you. Like me loving Snoop and Hove and 50 and all of that back then, like me being an artist, a writer, or just even a fan and just like, I want to say some shit. And what if they keep it and they be like, they want to put it out and I get writing credit or producer credit? Like now I'm getting all my fans to buy in, because what if this song, you got to buy this song, whatever, stream, whatever, you got to buy, however, you got to buy something to get this song. All right, great. You got to buy a piece of merch or a token to get this song. And with access to that, you have a shot to do your own version of it and send it back to me. And if I pick it, you get paid again on a blockchain through a token. And now we collaborated in some type of way. And now we got this collaboration, and every fan who liked the collaboration, now we put half of the song on blockchain, and you guys can now buy a piece of this 50% of the song that we cut down to 1 million shares. Like, it's so much. It's like endless when you think about this shit. Now you got the community engaged, and you also have the fans becoming someone who could get profit off of what they like.
I would love to invest in an artist like that.
Right.
Like even if I wasn't even making a song,
Yeah.
if I was like, yo, I found this artist in the Bronx, I fucking love them. No one even knows about them. If I could invest in that, but like, I feel like that's where the future of music could go as well. Where it's like he could be at a label, could not be at a label.
Right.
But I'm like, yo, I believe in them. Whatever it is, even if they flop, whatever.
There's another side to it that we're not looking at. So unless you ever sat in the studio for hours in blood, sweat, and tears and writing and creating songs, you don't really know how much how much physical and spiritual energy it takes from you. It depletes you. Imagine a world where somebody wanted you, they did your lyrics, used your voice, AI'd you, the shit was so fire, and they got bread to pay you for a feature that you really didn't do. You just paying for my tone, but you pay me as if I did the work.
That's interesting.
That's 100%.
That's a whole different ball game we talking about.
Yeah, you're just collecting it for your voice, for your image, your likeness.
And you pay me a regular fee. And if you don't, cool. I like the song and I know it's gonna go. You're gonna have to give me way more publishing, and I might probably have to get the master on this. Like, you gotta give me something because you're using my likeness. Now the artist feet kicked up in Bahamas in the mansion, making all this bread, and they like the record, obviously, right? They're not doing no shit that they don't like. But like, you just didn't lift a finger. All you did was listen to it, like it, approve it, and got paid full rate.
Drake's gonna be a
and
trillionaire.
own so much more. So you'll go from Drake being 100 millionaire or whoever to these guys becoming billionaires. Artists gonna become billionaires if they smart and understand this thing and don't have an ego. And like, man, this shit is hot. Just, is it hot or is it not?
I kind of want to peel back because listen, selfishly, this is a selfish question. I'm just curious how in today's age, say someone wants to get a song with Drake.
Yeah.
What is even the process? Is it like labels reaching out to labels? Is it just like, oh, I'm friends with this person, so we're gonna make a song? Like, how does that in today's world work? If I'm not friends with you,
I don't know Drake, but I'm gonna just speak on like
just
like
in general,
Ricans or Jayas or people I know. So
Yeah.
the way it usually is gonna work on a record label, you're gonna have to reach out to them, right? They're gonna the artist should you have like an artist to artist relationship or somebody the manager, somebody's homeboy, somebody in the background knows somebody.
Right.
Once the record is cut and if they're on the major label, the label has to clear it. So they have to give you a waiver saying you could use it. With that, they're gonna be looking at their schedule and see if do they have anything coming out because you putting out a song when they have this master rollout set up, you could throw off the whole marketing rollout. So that's really a label waiver. And then it's like, hey, is this a fee or is it a swap? Are you doing this as a swap, meaning when it's my turn, I could come back to you and get a verse for free, or are you gonna pay me right now? And that usually goes by, the swap usually goes by if I have just as much leverage as you. Like two big artists will swap out, like Lil Baby and Da Baby. That's more of a swap.
Right.
Yeah.
Or everybody about their bag. We got these big ass budgets that we owe anyway. Yo, I'm gonna tap your budget for 50. You can tap my budget for 50 because the money getting spent anyway. So it's really swaps. But if I'm way bigger than you and this is about to get you lit, you might have to pay me for that. You might have to pay me for the feature, my vocal performance, and you might have to pay me for the video performance. So it's all relationship based.
How many?
Hold
Can
on.
I just off this?
You've asked,
All right,
you've asked
yeah,
19
go,
questions
go.
in a row.
I'm
gonna
just
jump in.
curious.
For a verse, is there like, if I pay you $50K,
Mm-hmm.
what is like the bars on the verse like average? Like could that be like is it 4 bars, 8 bars? Because you know how like some verses are 15 seconds, some are like.
I'm
4.
gonna need 50,000 bars. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? But it depends on.
I'm like curious, like the average, because
should-
it's like you get some people that like I call it like a Kit Kat verse where it's like a tease 15 seconds, 20 seconds. Then you get some where like Travis Scott on the new 21 Savage who rap for a minute and 30 seconds. So like, what's the difference of that?
So there's a lot of factors, right? Like, perfect example. DJ Khaled probably paid Jay-Z nothing to rap on God Did for 30 minutes.
Yeah, he did. That was a long
Jay-Z
ass.
just loved the verse and just kept going.
Yeah.
You can't even pay Jay-Z for that. That's
Yeah.
a relationship, but that was also the love for the record.
Yeah.
So it's different. Or somebody's like, yo, I'm going to give you 8 bars because I feel like my time is worth 50,000 for 8 bars, because what you're going to get marketing-wise when I put this song up on my TikTok, Instagram, you can't even pay me for that. So there's no real answer to that. It's all relationships. It's all inspiration from the song. How did the song make me feel? Again, Jay-Z rapped for fucking ever on God Did. Somebody else probably would have did it 16. But you can't pay Jay-Z to do God Did. Jay-Z wanted to do that. Where Ross and Wayne and them probably did like a 16 or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Do you have to be like a big artist though to be like, yo, I'm gonna hop on that? Because that was kind of like my thing. Like I've seen like Drake hop on like a Nobody's. Like when he hopped on like Young Blue's viral song a couple years ago.
You're still mine.
You're Still Mine. Like, have you had like big artists that are like, yo, I want to work with this little guy just because I love their sound and want to do it? Like as a label, are you kind of like, I don't know if I want to do that? Or are you guys encouraging them like, oh yeah, you found someone, let's make this next thing?
I mean, it just depends on what position you are in at the label.
So
right?
it's like, so if you're like the guy, you kind of get your say. If you're kind of
Say it's
like
my
in the
label,
weeds.
is my say?
Yeah, no, I'm saying like if you're like the guy, like
Yeah.
your artist, like your top artist, he says he wants to do the thing. But if you're like a middle of the pack guy, you're kind of like,
It just
we'll
depends
see.
on how your deal structure, right?
Right.
Like, do you have that type of creative freedom in your deal, or does everything in your
right.
deal in the contract say that the label has to approve it?
Right.
Some people with leverage have full creative authority in their contract. Some people without leverage don't. Like, you got to get this shit approved. I don't care how much you loved it. I'm still gonna. The top guys still have to approve it.
Yeah.
So all this shit is a leverage thing. It's all leverage. It's all relationship. There's no main way. There's no main thing. No main structure. It's all, remember, it's a creative business. All this shit was created, which means it could change. It could be this. You gotta do your dance. Wherever you at that moment is how you gotta play. Until you get leverage. When you get leverage, you might sign a whack ass deal, but it got you in the door. It got you these relationships. It got you visibility. Now you selling these records. You could go back and say, hey man, I know my second contract, my second album commitment was supposed to be $1 million or whatever. But I did this, I tripled the expectancy. Now I want to do this different. The terms I want to be way smaller, way shorter, and I want them to favor me. And guess what the label gonna say? Okay. All right, cool.
Makes sense.
I'm curious because I've thought about this for a long time, and just like from where you're at and just your point of view. So Drake signed a $500 million deal with Universal.
He did.
What do you think that was like for? Like, because Drake doesn't need anybody. So I'm curious to why he signed for $500 million.
I don't know what that deal was about, so I don't know what that means. I don't know if he signed a $500 million deal. I
thought it was for distributing.
Yeah, I just don't even know what that.
I don't know what that means.
Even if it's not Drake, let's just say anybody. Somebody got $500 million. Like, I don't even know what the breakdown of that looks like. Because, like, what is that? Is that over time? Is that over 10 more projects? Is that over finding more acts? Is that for past catalog? Like, that's so many things in that space when you hear, like, those major numbers like that. Like, so I don't know. You know what I'm saying? The only way you know situations is if you see the actual contract.
You think it's more like headline, though? Like, when you see, like, $500 million? Because I know, like, in sports, right? Like, in sports, right? So, like, Jalen Hurts, he signs this crazy contract, $500 million, a couple $100 million, whatever it is. But like when you actually break down the contract, he ain't making that much money. Like it's all a show. Like over time, the team can break it down here. Well, hey, we're gonna defer this to 2027, whatever it is. Like it's not actually straight up that much money. So it could just be a headline as well.
Drake worth that.
No, Drake is worth it.
So I'm not saying that deal. I don't know anything about 100%. That deal numbers.
That's a discount deal.
Certain people over a lifetime of their catalog worth that. You know what I'm saying? It's just, again, like when you're not in music business, you don't know the particulars. If you don't know contracts and agreements, you don't know what those numbers mean, right? Like you hear about, I heard somebody the other day did a deal for like $30 million. And I'm like, that's cool. Was that $30 million in advance? Is that $30 million over time? Or was the deal worth $30 million and you owe 8 albums and you ain't getting shit after that? Like you're going to be having to owe these albums and you're not getting an advance ever till you recoup. Like, so it's just a lot of things. Unless you see the actual agreement, it's just hearsay because you don't know the structure. You don't know the payout. You don't know this. You don't know the deliverables. You don't know if that was for past catalog. You don't know what it was for. You don't know if it's part of it is for you to sign new talent and they get to own that new catalog. We have no idea what's the tentacles or what that deal actually like encompasses. You know what I
want to pull on something you said because me and Joshua actually talk about this a lot, and especially as artists when they're signed to labels. How much does a label control like the output of an artist?
What do you mean by it?
Like do they control like if they're like, hey, I want to drop this project, and the label's like, yeah, you can't drop for 6 months, you can't drop for a year, like you can't like just drop this single, like
no
how much is
gonna really tell you can't drop for 6 months or a year because they need to make a return on investment back. So they want you to drop. But you don't think they
try to like hold back a little bit? Like if they feel like they have lightning in the bottle and they only have this artist signed for 3 or 4 projects and they have like this lightning in the bottle, you don't think they try to like delay it a little bit so like keep that artist before they have to renegotiate?
That was back in the day. Now it's different because anything could be lightning in the bottle. The dumbest moment with us playing with this one little sound could go viral on TikTok and then spike up the Spotify and spike up the streaming. So it's different now. Like this shit is really no more. You can't predict it anymore. I think it's the Wild Wild West. Like we've never seen anything like this before. It is the Wild Wild West. I like it because anybody life could change in one fucking post. One snippet could change your whole shit. You go leveled up. You rich as fuck. Everything you did. I could curse on this?
Yeah, you can curse on
everything you did don't even matter anymore because you caught a moment that people connected with. Now, what you do with it is a different thing. Yeah. So it's different. The way it used to be, that shit don't exist no more, bro. Like
I love this. I've learned so much because it just reinforced how little I know about the music industry and how and I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. I actually, and this is kind of to round out the pod, but I was watching a Tyler Walsh video. And he had you on there, and you said that you worked with Akon.
Yeah.
I'm growing up. Akon's a fucking legend. He has some of like when I think my childhood and my friends, like he probably has 5 or 6 songs. And I'm like, to this day, if that goes on, everyone is like, that's an absolute hit. Maybe probably more than that. So, what did you do with him? Can you talk about that relationship at all? Just because I'm like nostalgia here, selfishly.
So I got to Akon by my mentor, Kedar Massenberg. Him and Akon, he was briefly managing Akon, but they decided to start a record label. When they started the record label, I was producing. I was still a producer, writer, artist. So my background is I was an artist that turned to a producer, that turned to a DJ, that also engineered and also shot music videos. I didn't have any money, so I learned how to do everything so I could get music out. again, so by the time I got to around Keto, I was producing and just shopping beats and all that shit. And he stopped me and said, "Hey man, you need to be an executive." And I just was like, no, because I always thought executives was corny. They suits, they don't know music. I'm like, he's like, yeah, you need to be an executive. Right, that's why you need to be an executive. And I'm like, why? He's like, you just said it. And I said what? He said, because they don't know music. Well, you do. I was like, And so I still fought it for like 3 months or so. I was like, I don't want to be no exec. I don't want to be an exec. And then one day I looked in the mirror and I had a kid on the way. And I was like, fuck, the former CEO of Motown telling me I could be an executive. I should probably listen to him. He's mega successful at that. So him and Akon formed a label, and he always told me, like, once I get everything up and running, you're going to work for me. And I was like, all right, whatever. They formed a label, got a distribution deal with BMG, and he came to me, he's like, all right, cool, it's game time. I said, all right, cool. He's like, yeah, you A&R. Nuh-uh, matter of fact, scratch that. You're the head of A&R. You run the whole shit. And here's your first project. I'm like, what is it? He's like, Akon. I was like, oh shit, because we had other artists. I didn't think he's gonna. I was gonna get the big guy off the rip. I thought I was gonna have to work with like the little new guys we were signing before I touched Akon. So Akon was my first big one. He just gave it to me, and I delivered. It was a lot of pressure. It was hard.
What project? Can you talk about what project?
It was an album called his Afrobeat album, Iconic, another one.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
So it was just songs he already almost like had. Some of them he had like already. Some of them I had to go get features. Like I went and got Kiss Daniel, who's a big megastar in Africa. I went and got Afrobeat, who did that song, Joe, and just tying up the business, right? Because with a lot of creatives, they make all this music, but no one took care of the business. No one did the paperwork, split sheets, nothing. Just I got this hot song. Like, all right. Is this clear? Like, who did the business? And it's like, oh, no business is done. So I had to go and do all the business for like, no lie, for like maybe like close to 100 songs maybe. It was like, because Akon was putting out 4 albums at once. He was going to put out 4 albums on one day.
Oh, shit.
So it was like 20 to 25 songs an album. So I had to go clear all of them. And shout out to my guy, Kyle, who had won it now, because he came halfway when I was like, oh, shit. And he came and helped me clear it too. Like, so, but that's how I started. Just being, it was the opportunity presented itself, and I was ready. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was learning as I go. I was reading books. My mentor told me talk to the lawyers. I would ask the lawyers 1,000 questions to kind of like figure it out. And then it had to work. Like I had a kid on the way. I ain't have no money coming in. I'm like fucked up at that point, but my mind is like strong. My willpower is like this or nothing. And I'm not ending up with nothing. So
what was it like to work with him though? Like. Through and through.
Con chill. Con just fucking laugh all day.
So if he was your first one, can you talk about like just list a couple of the people you worked with on that, like as obviously as an executive, like
yeah, he was just the first person I did I've A&R'd for a long time, right?
Yeah.
He was just my first actual credit because I never took credit for A&R, and I just go help write, produce, curate, record, engineer. I didn't really look at it like as an A&R. So I've worked with like a lot of people. He was just the one that was like, oh, this is formal now. Like I got a check for this. Like I got paid to do this. This is the actual like thing. The rest of it was just practice. But all of that was practice for this, right? Because I used to work at Rockefeller. I done been around Kanye. I done been around all that Rockefeller shit, Dame Dash, everything. Went from there. I had my own production situation at Sony, working with David Banner, Young Buck. From there, I just kept going on to DJing. Yeah. I've just been trying to sell beats to get, make it, sell beats to mixtape guys, put out my own mixtapes, went on the road, selling mixtapes hand in hand. Like I've done pretty much whatever you could do in this shit. Yeah.
As we close it out, I want you to leave anybody who made it this far with like, what is one piece of advice for somebody who's making music, producer, shoots music videos, wants to be a record executive?
Creative at all.
What is one thing you would want to leave those people that are really trying to like break into the music industry and like cement themselves?
You have to be delusional, meaning you have to think this already happened. Because the most people are going to quit on you because they don't have the endurance to keep going. I was telling somebody yesterday, this shit is hard. Like the endurance. I'm talking about having this fucking dream, thinking you could make a living off of being creative, and then watching people fall off left and right. Oh, you just want to be in music? That's so stupid. You're going to make a living creating? Go get a fucking job. You're so smart. Watching girlfriends leave because you ain't got no money, you fucking broke. Watching people just fall off because they just like, yo, I don't know how you still doing this shit. This shit ain't going to never happen. So to me, you just got to be delusional. You almost got to be a madman and be like, this shit is happening, and just close your eyes and just act like it happened already and just don't quit because you're going to get tested. You're going to want to quit all the time. This shit is very, 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 and did I say very, very, very hard.
Right.
Shit is hard to take. Like the fact that I pay my bills off of shit in my brain and creating some shit, like it's still like, yo, I could have quit so many times, bro. And I just kept pushing through all the pain, through the sadness, through being in fucking the room alone, like looking at your bank account, that shit is on negative, like, you know what I mean? And you just like, I'm still going to push. And then just like, after you get past that, then surround yourself with positive people that remind you of who you are, right? Like I got my guy T with me all the time. He reminds me, oh, you a fucking star, like you the guy, like, or just being around people that show you. Because once you get past the delusional part, where you like, now you got motion and you in it, now people try to tear your confidence down. Oh, he too confident. You gotta remember who you are, and also have people around you who remind you of who you are, because people very quick to tell you who you're not.
Right.
Very quick. They're gonna tell you who you're not.
I love that. That fired me up.
Yeah.
But Rob, this has been
great.
Great. I've learned a fuck ton.
We learned a ton, and hey, what a guest to have on the first.
Yeah, the first one.
The first one back.
There was bro, there's no better way than for me to be first. Like I don't like being second. I'm not gonna be eighth.
What a way to start 2024 too.
You gotta start it properly.
Man, but Rob, we'll definitely have you on again. But we appreciate it.
Yeah, we come back. You just tell us when you want. Call T. We up here.
Let's go. Maybe we'll try to do a vlog or something next time.
Yeah, let's do a whole vlog. Damn, if y'all was with us this week. No, it's too many big meetings happening. Oh no, yo, I could have did the vlog, but put it out after we do this deal.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it.
We doing the big deal. We outside because we got Jaya. Everybody loving. They want to know what's up with this Jaya guy from Africa. Everybody hearing about. And
I'm so ready.
So we talking to everybody, and we see.
Before you go, can you plug your socials real quick, just for the people that are listening?
My Instagram is rob.jua. My TikTok is rob.jua. All that shit is rob.jua. Every single thing. I made it very easy so you could just find me.
Perfect.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Rob.
We appreciate it.
Appreciate you
Yes,
guys.
I appreciate y'all.
Brothers for my family, for my mama, for my kids, for my bros. I gotta stack up this gold. I tell you I'm on the road. We about to get all this dough. We ain't no fuck niggas, no. I swear to God, we the ghosts. This ain't the story they told. Man, if you know, then you know. I never had to tell my dogs that we on road for greatness. They paper getters, they want money more than they want fake shit. I swear we go so hard, we on A-list. I see my niggas prevailing. We going hard for the hand. We gonna stack till we jaded. I just told my niggas that we on a mission. Yeah. It's gonna be hard to get it. We too on par for the misses. I put my heart and my feelings on tracks I don't even feel. We bout till we drippin'. We bout till we fall.